everyone trapped inside the YouTubes and those brave enough to observe them for undetermined lengths of time. As you may have guessed, I am Dr. Bartholomew Chatter, and it's been a long time since I've gotten to discuss the stupid things that humans say. Today's secret word is Gentile. Now, many of you may be familiar with its typical usage, which is used to refer to anyone who is non-Jewish. However, there are some things that you may not be aware of. Gentile is derived from the Latin word gentilis, which means of a family, clan, or nation. Some even go so far as to equate the meaning with the word pagan, but as I pointed out in previous videos, pagan actually means something completely different. Go figure! Now, the Latin word comes from the root word gens or gent, which means family or race, which is in turn related to the root word gignere, which means to beget. Now, many scholars of the Abrahamic faiths will point out that the Bibles were originally translated from Greek texts, not Latin. Well, they're right. However, the Greek word that Gentile substituted was the word ethnikos, meaning ethnic, and it comes from the words ta ethne, or the nations. Ethnic itself was often used in substitution for the words barbarian, heathen, and of course pagan. This helps one understand how people came up with the term ethnic cleansing in the early 90s. And as many of you may know, the Greek translations were actually from the Hebrew translations, which didn't use the phrase ta ethne, or the word ethnikos, or the word gentilis or gentile. It instead used the word goyim, the plural of the word goy, which means the nation. Goyim, the nations. Now, the big irony is that goy doesn't actually mean non-Jew at all, because it's also used when referring to the nation of Israel. Now, the first use of goy in reference to Israel is actually in Genesis 12:2 with the phrase goy godal, or great nation. Another interesting fact is that it has even been used as the name of an actual nation in Genesis in 14:1, where it refers to the king of Goyim, or king of nations. In Exodus 19:6, the Israelites are also referred to as Goy Kadash, which means holy nation. Other instances include 2 Samuel 7:23 and 1 Chronicles 17:21, where it mentions Israel as the Goy Ahad Baaretz, or unique nation upon the earth. Although it should also be mentioned that other people have suggested that the reference may instead be actually referring to the Gutium tribe who overran southern Mesopotamia when the Akkadian Empire collapsed in 2154 BCE. And that's not even discussing the verses in the Bible where Jesus, his disciples, and others, such as the elders, are talking ill of the Gentiles. Here's a list.
Okay, Dr. Chatter, that's fine and all, but why is knowing what Gentile actually means important?
Thank you, disembodied voice, for asking that question. There are actually 3 reasons why this is important to know what Gentile actually means. Well, the first reason is, if you don't use the words correctly, it degrades the information and knowledge we pass down to future generations. The second reason is using these words incorrectly, especially Gentile, helps propagate the fragmentation and segregation of humanity through the stereotyping and dehumanizing of people along the lines of religious, political, cultural, and racial differences. The third reason, and most important I might add, is because this has led to instances where religion has repeatedly been used and is once again being used to spread fundamentalist ideology, which in turn breeds mistrust, hatred, animosity, and violence between neighboring people where once there was none. Examples of some of this intolerance are seen with people such as the Ku Klux Klan, who propagate racial superiority through their Christian religious texts and the passages contained therein. This can be found in a leaflet that they circulated in Mississippi during the year 1964. Specifically, points number 10 and number 11. Feel free to read them right now. Number 10. Because it is composed of native-born, white, Gentile, and Protestant American citizens who are sound of mind and of good moral character. And number 11. Because the goals of the KKK are the total segregation of the races and the total destruction of communism in all its forms. This word is even used in the Pictal Quran, where the word for Gentile is substituted with the Arabic word al-Umayyin. Sorry if I mispronounced that. This is chapter 3, verse 75 in the Quran. Among the people of the scripture, there is he who, if thou trust him with a weight of treasure, will return it to thee. And among them there is he who, if thou trust with a piece of gold, will not return it to thee unless thou keep standing over him. That is because they say, we have no duty to the Gentiles. They speak a lie concerning Allah knowingly. Even in modern times, some Orthodox Jewish schools have propagated the incorrect and hate-filled ideology with the misuse of the term goyim, or Gentile. According to the independent worksheets that allude to the horrors of the Holocaust are being handed out to the 3- and 4-year-old school children at the Best Rochelle Boys' School in Stamford Hill, North London. Speaking to the Independent, the source said one question on the sheet asks, what have the evil goyim done with the synagogues and cheddars? The answer in the completed worksheet reads, burned them. Another question asks, what did the goyim want to do with all the Jews? The correct worksheet answer is, kill them. However, according to Jewish News Online, the school said in a statement, the newspaper failed to understand the context and mischievously suggested that children were being taught that Goyim, rather than the Nazis, were evil. It falsely accused the school of fear-mongering, encouraging pupils to believe all non-Jews were evil. This is not the case, but to avoid any confusion, the school will explicitly refer to Nazis next year. However, Emily Green, a former Best Rochelle student who now helps ultra-Orthodox Jews who want to leave the community, said, it's not uncommon to be taught non-Jewish people are evil in ultra-Orthodox Jewish schools. It is part of the prayers, teaching, the whole ethos. She added, psychologically, you become so afraid of the world out there after being taught how dangerous and bad and evil non-Jews are that it makes it harder to leave. So, what do you think about the historical context of the word Gentile? Is it racist? Post a comment below explaining why or why not you think so. I'd love to read them, and I'm sure some of you would love to read them also. Well, that's it for this episode. If you liked it, click the button, because the only thing better than being a number is being one of mine. And if you're feeling particularly persuaded through propaganda, you can either say that phrase 33 times fast or just click subscribe. Plus, be a top tier supporter by not forgetting to share this video with all your friends. I've been your non-apocalyptic host, reminding you all that knowledge changes the world. Snake? Snake? Snake!